Welcome to Rathalos Watch. This is the 19th episode of Should X Monster Return to Monster Hunter Wilds. Today we'll be discussing a modern day monster from the 5th generation of Monster Hunter, Tetranadon. As always, we'll delve into the monster in greater detail, covering its first appearance, overall reception, memorable aspects, visual design, combat style, and ultimately, whether it should return to Monster Hunter Wilds. We'll explore how Capcom could potentially bring back the monster, what they should or shouldn't change, what new interactions they could implement, and how the monster could fit into the next generation of Monster Hunter in terms of mechanics and design philosophies. If you've been enjoying the series and want more hardcore coverage on Monster Hunter Wilds, then don't forget to subscribe and also feel free to join our Discord and speculate about Monster Hunter Wilds with passionate fellow hunters. Link is in the pinned comment. Without further ado, let's begin. Tetranadon is classified as an amphibian and was first introduced to the world in Monster Hunter Rise when it came out exclusively for the Nintendo Switch on March 26, 2021. The PC version then came out on January 13th in 2022, followed by PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, and Xbox One on January 20th, 2023. Tetranadon was inspired by the Kappa, a well-known yokai from the Japanese folklore. The Kappa is usually described as a green creature, often portrayed as a mix between a young boy and a turtle. While Tetranadon doesn't look like a young boy, you can definitely see the turtle-like features. According to Ichinose, they drew inspiration from various creatures that live near water, including turtles, crocodiles, and even platypuses. One interesting thing about Tetranadon is that they often clash with Arzuros, a fanged beast resembling a bear. During their turf war, the inflated Tetranadon even tries to swallow the bear whole, though it doesn't usually succeed. It's highly entertaining and humorous battle to witness. Tetranadon can be encountered for the first time in a 2-star village quest, Dead Ringer, in the Shrine Ruins locale in Monster Hunter Rise. Tetranadon may also appear in Frost Islands, Lava Caverns, and the Jungle locale. That's exclusive to Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, which is the G-Rank expansion. Tetranadon can range from the smallest gull crown size of 849.19 centimeters to the largest gull crown size of 1206.23 centimeters. Hunters may break its beak, shell, torso, and both of the arms individually. Fun fact about Tetranadon is he actually first appeared in a spin-off title, Monster Hunter Riders, before he was introduced to the Monster Hunter Rise. He was also voted 142nd place in the Hunter's Choice for Top Monster during Monster Hunter's 20th anniversary. So what makes Tetranadon memorable and interesting? Well, first of all, it's an amphibian, and if you watched my previous videos in the series, you all know that I believe there are simply not enough amphibians. On top of that, he is also an early game monster in a brand new entry, so that alone can become nostalgic for people if it's the first time they are playing Monster Hunter game to begin with. Tetranadon is another monster that likes to inflate himself and spew water out similarly to Zamchios. So this was another easy way to remember him. Speaking of Zamchios, make sure you go watch his video by clicking on the card in the top right corner. It was quite a popular episode. However, I'd argue the biggest reason why he is memorable is due to his visual design. Tetranadon is an amphibian with a turtle-like shell on its back, an inflatable belly that can double in size. It also has algae-like fur on its head, front, legs, shell, and tail. Its beak is similar to a platypus, toothless and flat, with webbed feet to match. Tetranadon's orange eyes have the horizontal pupils common to amphibians, and it features a crest on its head that resembles the dish-like shape found in the mythological Kappa. When its belly is deflated, it walks on all fours, but once it swallows enough debris, its belly expands dramatically and it begins walking on its hind legs. While Tetranadon may have somewhat of a comical appearance, it's also worth noting that he can easily defeat Lagombi and Volvidon, and of course Arzuros as previously mentioned. However, predators like Anjanath and Gosfarag are a whole different ballgame, and here's why. Let's talk a bit about Tetranadon's fighting style. I'll be showcasing the G-Rank quest where you hunt Tetranadon, which can only be fought in Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak in the Jungle locale. Occasionally, Tetranadon will raise his body slightly and launch forward a short distance, attempting to slam you with both of his arms. It's easily telegraphed and has a long wind-up animation before the attack, so just dodge or wire bug out of the way. If you're standing right in front of him, he'll literally try to clap your cheeks with both arms, just like I like to clap gemmas in the bedroom. If this hits, you'll be stunned, and he'll follow up with a lunging bite. Sometimes he'll jump into the air and try to stomp on you with his big green belly. You really don't want to get hit by this, so either run or wire bug out of the way. On occasion, he'll attempt to hit you by swiping his arms at you. He'll swing one arm first, then the other. There's a noticeable delay between each swing, and they're quite easy to avoid. The hitbox is pretty generous in my opinion. After consuming a ton of gravel, Tetranadon will inflate and grow huge, gaining new attacks like charging at you belly first. This charge is slow and easy to avoid, unless, like me in this footage, you misjudge the hitbox on the second charge. Rarely, Tetranadon will dig up a large large boulder and throw it at the hunter. It's very easy to dodge, just wire bug out or run and avoid standing directly in front of him. When inflated, Tetranadon might also try to stomp you with his belly by lifting it and moving it forward slightly before slamming it down. If he manages to hit you with his biting attack, it'll trigger his spinning move, where he swallows you and then spits you out before stomping you with his massive inflated stomach. You can wire bug out after he spits you out, but I didn't do it, so here you could see the full attack. Lastly, Tetranadon may spit a ball of water at you while standing, which is super easy to avoid. That's pretty much it for Tetranadon's fighting style. Unfortunately, Tetranadon didn't receive any subspecies or variant in Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. He's a very easy and predictable monster to take down, even in G rank, and doesn't offer much of a challenge. Though he is fun to fight, I kinda wish he hadn't gotten a variant with more exciting moves and a new look, because he feels a bit underutilized. Now that we've covered Tetranadon's combat style and a bit of history, we have to ask, should he return in Monster Hunter Wilds? Personally, I wouldn't mind if he came back, but I'm unsure if Capcom would bring such a recent monster into the new generation of Monster Hunter. It's worth mentioning that Chotacabra is the 6th generation new amphibian. If Tetranadon does return, I think he should only appear in the Scarlet Forest, since he wouldn't fit in the Windward Plains locale at all. I also think it would be smart for Capcom to have a dedicated amphibian for each locale. Chotacabra could fit the desert-like areas, Tetranadon for the jungle and forest environments, Zamtrios for icy regions, and possibly Tetsukabra for caverns or underground locales, assuming Monster Hunter Wilds has such a locale. Speaking of Tetsukabra, I'll cover him in a future video, so stay tuned. Tetranadon wouldn't behave as a herd monster, and I imagine he'd spend most of his time near rivers and lakes, feeding on gravel, random endemic life, and smaller monsters, occasionally inflating himself. It would be awesome if, in Monster Hunter Wilds, you could encounter Tetranadon already in his inflated state, rather than just having to deal enough damage to trigger it. This would add a more dynamic element to the fight, depending on when and where you engage him. Maybe he's just inflated after swallowing gravel, or maybe he's deflated after spitting out water. This would bring some variety to the start of the encounter. I'd also love to see him interact with other amphibians. I'm not sure if Chotacabras can appear in the Scarlet Forest, but if he does, it would be fun to watch them battle for territory. Imagine if Tetsukabra returns as well. We all know Tetsukabra loves digging up massive boulders. It would be epic if Tetranadon could pick up those boulders up and use them as throwing weapons against Tetsukabra in the turf war or random encounter. Since Tetranadon can also appear in cold environments like the Frost Islands in Monster Hunter Rise, it's possible he could also show up in the Tundra locale in Monster Hunter Wilds, possibly alongside Zamtrios, assuming Zamtrios returns. If Zamtrios does make a comeback, I'd love to see these two amphibian goofballs inflate themselves and have a turf war of epic belly proportions. In short, it would be cool to see Tetranadon return, but not for the launch of Monster Hunter Wilds. I believe it might be better to save him for a G rank expansion, where he could get a new variant or something similar, because I think he deserves it. For the base game, I prefer to see all the monsters return first, like Logiacris, Kiropeko, Great Jaggies, Seregios, and many others. If you're new here, make sure to check out the other videos in this series by going to the playlist. Just click the card in the top right corner. Do you fellow hunters believe that Tetranadon is a good fit and deserves to return to Monster Hunter Wilds, or would you rather see something completely fresh and new? How do you see him interacting with other monsters? Let me know your thoughts in the comments and tell me which monsters you'd like me to cover in future episodes. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit like and subscribe with notifications turned on. Peace out and happy hunting.